Hi, good evening. Good evening, Kavita. So, welcome to yet another session. Okay, so these Ask Me Anything sessions happen every Tuesday at 9 p.m. So, we'll have good discussions and you can ask me questions where I'll be, I, I'll try to answer to my capability. Okay, so it's not that I've got answers for all questions. I'll try to do that. So, today, we are into another. Oh, not able to hear? Can't you hear me? Can you hear me now, Kavita? I'm not on mute. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, okay. And Kavita, I think you can check your system then. Okay, so today we are basically going to talk about, so these are the Ask Me Anything sessions. So, importance of oil. When I meant oil, I didn't mean only oil per se. I basically meant there is also a therapy called Snehana. Okay, the use of oleation, we call that, both external and internal. So I'll be just trying to talk about why this therapy of oleation is very, very important. Okay, so we call that Snehana in Ayurveda. Okay, so let's start with that. So it's just an overview about it. Okay, don't worry at all. Nothing in depth. So sneha is basically from the root snih, meaning to stick. Okay, so be attached. So that's why even colloquially for like and love, also we use the word sneha. Okay, that means when they love, they are always, or sometimes they're together, right? So we call that to stick together. That's why this word sneha comes from the word to stick, sneh. And application, how do we basically apply snehana here? Snehana is actually a very, very detailed process which happens when we are treating patients, especially in panchakarma therapies. Okay, otherwise also as on a daily basis also this is very, very important. So we apply this in two ways. One is external, so application of different kinds of oil, on the body, on the head, okay, or sometimes in the eyes or in the ears. So the way, however, you can apply oil and thick which things which can actually stick. It can be mustard oil, it can be coconut oil, it can be ghee also. So all those things are basically classified under snehana. So application is, in one way it is external, and in another way it is also internal. So you can drink oil, you can drink, people take coconut oil, you can also take ghee, you can mix it with rice. There's something called acha sneha. Acha sneha is sneha taking by itself, okay, or vicharna, you can actually mix it with foods and have, in different ways you can actually consume oil. Or see, when I mean oil here, it is sneha is would be the better word. Oil need not be only sesame oil or mustard oil or coconut oil, anything which has got that, which can lubricate the body. Okay, so types of sneha. Broadly, sneha has been divided into or classified under four headings, and of that, the most important sneha dravya is a substance. The most important sneha dravya is ghritam or ghee. Okay, and when I mean ghee, it is always in Ayurveda, wherever you see the word ghee, if not mentioned specifically. Otherwise, it always means cow's ghee. Okay, so that is the first one. That is the most important one in order of importance. Okay, and the second one is thylam or oil. Okay, and in Ayurveda, wherever you see thylam, it always means sesame oil. The word thylam comes from the word tilat thylam. Tila means, okay, til ka tel we call in Hindi, it actually means sesame or gingerly. So because this is the one which is mostly used in Ayurveda, other oils are also called thyla. Okay, even though thyla specifically means sesame oil, now we use thyla for all other oils also. Okay, then the next one is vasa. Vasa is fat, and it is animal fat. Okay, that also is being used as a sneha dravya. And next is majja or marrow. Okay, so these four things are used in Ayurveda in different levels and different contexts as a sneha dravya. And when we use one of these, we call that sneha. Okay, when we use two, you can mix ghee and oil, or ghee or fat, or ghee, whatever it is. When you mix any of these two, it is called yamaka. And when you mix any of these three, it is called mishraka. And when all the four are mixed together and given, we call that mahasneha. Mishraka in Malayalam, we normally use that for a preparation called korambu, we call that, when all the three are mixed. When three oils are mixed, we call that korambu. Okay, so these are the types of sneha. So what difference, how do they act on the body? So ghritam or ghee is basically the best medicine which can be given for pitta roga. Okay, any pitta roga, any burning sensation, anything where you want to reduce the probably the salt or the the spiciness or the sour, we add a little bit of ghee and we mix it into it. So, and innately ghritam manages pitta, and ghritam in small quantities also helps build the digestive fire. We would have in practical when you look at traditionally, when you look at homas being done, the fire, the homa kunda, people actually pour a little bit of oil, a little bit of ghee. That ghee, a little bit of ghee in moderate quantity actually builds the fire. But when you have it in excess, it actually kills it. Okay, so ghee is one that manages pitta the best. It also pacifies vata. Okay, and thylam is which reduces vata. It is the best dravya for vata, and it also manages a kapha a little bit. So when you look at different dravyas, okay, for thyla is the best thing for vata, ghrita or ghee is the best thing for pitta, and honey or madhu is the best thing for kapha, even though madhu doesn't come under the sneha dravyas. Okay, so ghee and thylam. So when you look at ghee, you'll find a lot of medicated preparations which are made of ghee, and you'll find a lot of oils also, where sesame oil is used as the base to make oils. In this, why do we consider ghee as the most important thing? Okay, this is one noteworthy point. There is a property called samskarasya anuvartanat ghridam uttamam. That means ghee becomes the best because of samskarasya anuvartana. That is a property of ghee. I'll try to explain that. In the sense here, ghee has got a little bit of property that it can reduce vata, it can reduce pitta and vata. It is good for it is good for the agni, it is good for your intellect and all those. A lot of properties have been told for ghee. So when you add a few medicines into it and you process it and make it a medicated ghee, that ghee actually takes and absorbs the properties of all the medicines into the ghee. But and even oil does the same thing. Oil also takes the properties of all the medicines, all the herbs you put inside the oil. Okay, but the major difference between that medicated ghee and medicated oil is that the medicated ghee retains its properties. Okay, in the sense you cannot change the property of the ghee just because you add a few medicines into it. All the properties of medicines is taken by the ghee, but still it maintains its own quality. But that's not the case with oil. You put some medicines into oil and make oil. Okay, that oil gets converted into the properties of the herbs which you have put into the oil. That's one reason why we consider ghee to be superior. And so, so these are the major, nowadays these are the two major things which we use when we do snehana. That means we do oleation externally or internally. Okay, so so Ghritam, see, mostly for intake in Snehana and also for external application, but mostly it is given internally. When you look at Thailam, it is mostly for external application and also for intake. Yes, there are a lot of oils which are indicated for intake also. Okay, and there are oils and ghees and other things also which we pour inside the nose also, or we also give it for as enema. So oils can be actually applied in different forms in Ayurveda. Okay, and vasa and majja, that means fat and marrow, also mostly for external application. And so in certain cases where people have got injuries to the vital points, marma, we actually give a lot of majja, medicines prepared in majja to heal them from injuries to the marma. So as I want to tell you, oils are, so there are different kinds of oils. You have got groundnut oil, you have got peanut oil, groundnut oil, you have got mustard oil, you have got sesame oil. A lot of oils are all those oils. Even though we call them taila, they are actually, they have got the properties of its own source. Okay, in the sense, tila taila will have the properties of tila. Mustard oil will have the properties of mustard. Groundnut will have the properties of groundnut. Coconut oil will have the properties of coconut. So you should know how to apply this. And application of oil externally, we say that it has to be done on a daily basis. Abhyangam acharet nityam, especially on the head, ear and the feet. Every day you have to apply oil on the head. That's what the Shastra says. Okay, and while consuming ghee also, it's very important that you should never eat dry food. So making the food snigdha is important. So adding a little bit of ghee or oil into the food while consuming is also considered to be healthy. You also have to do exercises. Okay, you can't just eat ghee and then sit idle. So a lot of things are have been told in Ayurveda, and the importance of Snehana is one very important, especially in Panchakarma. When we prepare a person for Panchakarma, we start with Deepana Pachana is different. You try to improve his Agni, and then Snehana is very important. You give internally ghee or oil, and also for external application. And after that, we do Svedana, or make the person sweat before you actually do the Panchakarma therapy. So Snehana is a very, very important procedure in Ayurveda, both external and internal. Okay, so if you have got any questions, you can definitely start typing there. I'll try to answer them. So there are different preparations. When you make oil also, we have got different stages in which we make the oil. So we call that the first stage, or we call that murdupaka. The oil which is taken in the first stage is used to pour in the nose. We call that nasya. Then you've got the madhyamapaka. Madhyamapaka is the oil which is taken in the middle stage, that is used for internal use. And then we have got something called the kharapaka, or the the lightest form. The sense it is cooked to the maximum. That is the kharapaka, is basically used for external application. Okay, so we have got different stages. So the one which is used to pour the nose can be consumed internally and can be used for external application. Okay, the one used for internal application can be used for external, but it's not the other way around. The one which is prescribed for external application cannot be consumed internally or cannot be used to pour inside the nose, because that's what we will call that paka. That's the cooking. The first stage of cooking inside the nose, the last stage for the body, and the middle stage for consumption. Okay, so Snehana is very, very important. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask, and I'll try answering them. Okay, your questions are most welcome. Okay. Oil massage for newborns. Normally oil massage is done for newborns. Okay, and best time to start this. Normally, nowadays we start by 2 weeks or maximum by 4 weeks. We do start application oil on the baby on a daily basis, and different places they use different oils, and we would like to use the softest of oil. So in Kerala, we'll tell you what we do is we actually we grate the coconut, we squeeze the milk out of it and put it under the sun. If you leave it for an hour or so, you can see a film of oil which comes on top of it because of the sun's heat. That is basically used to apply on the baby. It is very soft and very good for the baby, and the remaining one the mother can use to apply on her body. Okay, so in cold climates, you can use an oil called Lakshadi Thailam, which is indicated for children. Okay, and you have to do it, but you don't give too much of force while massaging the child. Okay, because when the child is born, you see the bones are slightly bent, and don't try to straighten the bones. We don't advise you to give too much of what do you call force while doing a massage to the baby. The baby has to be, you're just doing a little bit of massage, pampering the baby more, and then don't try to straighten the nose. Okay, don't do all those things. Don't try to pull the hands a bit too much, squeeze the legs a bit too much. Don't do all those things. Giving a lot of pressure on the butt area. No need. You have to just give a normal massage for the child, right? And it's very healthy for the child. Yeah, Chetna, for Nasya, which oil do you recommend? Normally, for all kinds of issues, there is an oil called Anu Taila, which is available in the market. ANU. Anu means small. Okay, so that Thailam is something which can be used on a regular basis, irrespective of whether you have got any issue or not. If when you have got issues, what happens is the dose is something which we increase. Otherwise, Anu Thailam is one thing which you can use on a daily basis. In the monsoon, should Abhyanga be done every day, and what oil to be used? Okay, when we say Abhyangam Acharit Nityam, okay, it means every day, irrespective of whether it is raining or whether it is summer or whether it is winter. Application of oil on the body is very much necessary. Okay, so for that, I would say one oil. If you are not suffering from any issue and you just want to maintain health, I would say Dhanvantaram Thailam would be the apt oil for you to use on a daily basis. You can use it, okay, on the body, and then for the head, you can use some very good coconut oil based if you are used to using coconut oil. And it has been told, Shirashravana Padeshu Tam Visheshana Shile, applying on the head, ears, and feet, Visheshana specifically. Okay, that means you apply, and that is a place where you have to do proper massage so that you stay extremely healthy. Do it every day. Need not be bothered whether it is rainy season, summer season, or winter. Okay, you can use Dhanvantaram Thailam. Can we do Nasya with plain ghee? Nasya with plain ghee, the problem with ghee is sometimes it can go and get thickened. Okay, so that's the reason it is. I don't say you need not, you can't do it, but it is always good that you use oil rather than using a ghee for Nasya. Okay, it's much easier to do it because even when the oil, sometimes in winter seasons, oil might also get a little bit cold. So what we do, we slightly warm it before we put inside the nose. But warming ghee is not practically possible for you to put it because then it becomes very hot and becomes very thin. It's not so easy to pour inside the nose, even though it's not contraindicated. It is indicated. Durvadi and all those things are indicated in certain disease conditions. But otherwise, it's always good if you can just pour Anutailam inside your nose. I feel quite uncomfortable using Anutailam. Okay, you can also use Karpas Asthyadi Tailam if you've got too much of congestion and phlegm. Okay, but if you have got congestion, you cannot use Tailam and other things like Shirabala, maybe or Dhanvantram Tailam for Nasya. There is something called Shadbindu Tailam also. It is if you say that Anutailam irritates you, then probably Shadbindu Tailam also can irritate you. And I think the safest thing for you would be Karpa Sastyadi Tailam Harihan. Okay, sesame oil. This is for you meant for elders, right? Yes, sesame oil. You have to just heat it a little bit, apply on your body, and then you can give a little bit of movements. Absolutely no issues at all. Okay. There are people who actually apply oil and then they go for a walk and come back. You don't have to do too much of wrestling kind of movements, no. And it is not contraindicated. You can, if you want to, you need not do also. But exercise should be a part of your routine. Application of oil need not be followed by wrestling kind of movement. But, after exercise, okay, what Ayurveda says, after exercise, always good to do, Mardana of the body. You'll have sweat and all those things. Always good to do Mardana of the body after an exercise. That is basically to relax the body. Even in gyms, after they do a gym, you do a lot of relaxation. People give, that rub and all those things. It's actually good to do. But after oil application, you need not do. It's not compulsory that you have to do the wrestling kind of movements. Anutailam is meant for it is a general thing, even though specifically mentioned in certain disease, it's generally used for all diseases above the neck. Okay, it is good for your ears, good for your eyes, good for your nose. Some people who also sometimes who have got diminished smell. Okay, Anutailam works really well for them. It is very good for hair growth also. So suppose you are congested, what happens? Blood supply fails to reach the hair roots and your hair starts falling. So using Anutailam is very good to remove that excessive phlegm from your head so that the blood supply reaches the hair roots. It is good for that also. Anutailam can be actually used on a regular basis. Okay, Arimedadi Tailam or Arimedas Tailam. Okay. Chetana Arimedadi Tailam can be used on a daily basis, however long you want. Okay, days where you run out of stock, you can use sesame oil, but Arimedas Tailam can be used. It is actually very good for people who have got teeth issues and loose gums. For all those things, Arimedadi Tailam or Arimedas Tailam works really well. We call that Gandusha. Okay, oil pulling. It's actually very good. Western medicine speaks so wrong about fat consumption. Okay. Yes. See, things. It's like I recently saw a study from a doctor. When they said that a lot of studies have happened that a lot of cholesterol can actually create heart attacks and all those things. So when they have opened up the body of people who had a heart attack, they found cholesterol. So, but the recent studies have also started pointing to them that the cholesterol is the one that actually protects the heart from heart diseases, So we don't know where they are going right now, but I would say, heart in Ayurveda also, Hridroga, we have got basically two major things, One, when there is excess of kapha. So it could be when there is a lot of cholesterol and the whole, the channel is blocked. Then you can get a problem with the heart. There's also Vataja Hridroga where the whole area is dry. You don't even consume any oil at all. So there's absolutely no lubrication for the heart to work. Okay. So I would say having everything in moderation is actually good for you. You have to consume fats. Yes, it is very important for each and every cell to actually work really well. The lubrication is very much necessary. But make it a point that you also do moderate exercises. Don't ignore exercise also, I have been told. But what the thing is that we only pick one thing. Okay, you can have fat, but also do exercises. Also sleep early. Okay, lot of factors, but taking fat is actually good for health. Vyayama and Abhyanga, which has to be done first? Abhyanga has to be done first normally, and then you can do Vyayama. Okay, and then after that you also do a little bit of Mardana after, So, but if you are somebody who will not get time to do Vyayama in the morning and Abhyanga in the morning, I would say still do Abhyanga in the morning, and if you can do Vyayama in the evening also is fine. Since you asked for the order, you can do Abhyanga and then do Vyayama. Okay. Sesame oil to foot in night will reduce. Yeah. So, normal sesame oil, I would say, is not that cooling. Okay, Shashikar. So there are other oils which we use like Ksheerabala Thailam or Chandanadi Thailam or something, Even though the base is oil, since it has been medicated with certain herbs, it becomes slightly cooling. So to reduce heat in the body, it is always good to use oils which has been processed and then made it slightly cooler. Pinda Thailam is actually cool. Chandanadi Thailam is cool. Ksheerabala Thailam is cool. That would actually make it better. Okay, but I don't say that applying sesame oil under the feet is bad. But if you want to make it cooler, I think this would be a better option. Past 2 days. Karpasasthadi Thailam does not actually increase too much of cold. Okay, see if you are too exposed to cold, or you're taking a cold water shower also. Kavita, it could be one reason. You are taking a cold water shower after Nasya. Okay, normally when you are undergoing Nasya as a course, we tell them to avoid head bath, because you are with a lot of difficulty, you're steaming your body, you're putting in medicine so that all the phlegm comes out. Then if you take a cold water or any water shower, it cools the system down, and that do not go together. Just see if that is a bit, because Karpasasthadi Thailam is not something which can cause congestion. It is something which removes that kapha. Okay. See, do's and don'ts of Nasya. Nasya is basically a part, it can be a part of your dinacharya. So children, let us say children below the age of 10 and elderly people above the age of 70 or 80, you can avoid them. Otherwise, all of us can do Nasya on a daily basis called Pratimarshana, where you put only a few drops. But Nasya as a treatment is altogether a different thing, where the dose is extremely high. We go to up to 60 drops, 7 drops, 10 drops also. Okay. So that is basically the Nasya which comes under Panchakarma. But Nasya as a dinacharya, you can do it on a daily basis. But one thing is that when you're doing it on a daily basis, you don't have to think too much about it. You don't even have to do too much of steam inhalation. Okay, the oil can be slightly warm. You can lie down. Okay, normally you can lie down flat. Your head can hang down a little bit so that your nostrils are perpendicular floor. 2 drops into each nostril. Pull it in. It's actually done. Nasya is done. Okay, but don't go and immediately splash your face with cold water. Let that that warmth stay. Okay. When you are doing Nasya on a daily basis, there aren't too much of precautions. But as a treatment, when we go as a treatment, that's altogether a different topic, Sinjana. Okay, that's a different thing. But otherwise, you can do it on a daily basis. See that it's neither too early nor too late in the night. Okay, normally speaking, it's always good to do when after the sun is up. For skin nourishment, should coconut oil be applied before or after bath? Hariharan, one thing is that coconut oil is actually good, but in my opinion, we don't normally see many oils with coconut oil base. Okay, but the thing is that it doesn't have that stickiness. So, frankly speaking, it is not something which is very good to be used on the body. I would say better use sesame oil, because it actually stays on and it gives you that lubrication. Coconut oil is too thin. It is best when used on the head. Okay, it is always once you have taken your shower and you are coming out of the shower, coconut oil, yes, some people have got a lot of what do you call dry or flaky skin on their feet. They apply a little bit of coconut oil as moisturizer after the shower. But it's always good to apply oil. Normal case, it's always good to apply oil before you take a shower. Good evening, Ramesh. Okay. Order is something which can, even though the order has been given in Ashtanga Hridaya, some texts have given different orders. But in my opinion, you are getting up and brushing and tongue scraping are the first two things. Okay, brushing and tongue scraping, and after that your oil pulling comes. Okay, so that would be the order. Oil pulling, brushing, tongue scraping, no. I would say brushing, tongue scraping and oil pulling would be the best order. Body massage, sesame oil, respective Vata-Pitta Kapha persons. Okay. Abhyangam ajaret nityam sa jarashrama vataha. Okay. When you actually do abhyanga on a regular basis, they say daily. Okay. On a daily basis, what happens is jara shrama. Jara means aging. Okay, it doesn't mean that you will not age and you will not die. No, it means that your skin will actually look younger and you'll gracefully age. Okay, that means normal process. Otherwise, if that amount of oil is not there in the skin, what happens? Your skin starts wrinkling faster. So jara shrama. Shrama is tiredness. Okay, shrama, tiredness is after exertion. So any work, if you're somebody who is working in the field with a lot of physical labor, you basically get tired a lot. But when you do oil massage, that is also taken care of. That is shrama. And vataha, abhyangam reduces vata. Okay, it basically controls vata. As far as vata pitta goes, it is basically a vata control. Okay. That's actually a very good question. Is that all? Okay. So, shall we end the session then? If there aren't any more questions. Okay. Okay. I use Ksheerabala 101. For people who don't know Ksheerabala 101, I'll try to explain a little bit. Ksheerabala is basically a preparation. Okay, I don't want to get into details of the preparation. You take oil and prepare Ksheerabala. Once you filter it, you get the oil. Okay, so what all materials have been used to make Ksheerabala is again taken, and the same oil which you put aside is used. Okay, and then what happens is you again filter it and put the oil aside. Take all the materials again and make it. So what happens here, you are taking the oil only once, but you are actually adding the materials to make Ksheerabala again and again and again and again. That means the same oil is being potensified again and again. So you have got Ksheerabala, that's why this we call 101. So 101 times you have potensified the first oil which you have taken. That is Ksheerabala 101. So the moment you potensify, I'm coming to that, okay. So when you potensify it too much, it becomes extremely thick, okay, and that is something which we normally don't prescribe for Nasya. Okay, so what happens is we normally don't go beyond 7 or 14, very rarely 21 avarti. Okay, because as we keep so 7 avarti can be given internally, okay, and 14. So if you go to 101 avarti, if you actually pour inside the nose, it becomes extremely uncomfortable, and no wonder you felt extremely uncomfortable. Okay, instead, if you want to use Ksheerabala, I think Ksheerabala 7 is available in the market, or maximum 14. Don't go beyond 14. That will not create this much of discomfort. Regular teeth, toothpaste and brush. You a lot of people, in the villages they use the neem stick. Okay, when we were children, we also used to use mango leaf. Ripe mango leaf is an amazing brush and cleans your teeth squeaky clean. I'm telling you. You roll it, you bite it, and then you use it to clean your thing. And in the banana, see, I'll tell you what you do is first you remove. If you look at a mango leaf, you have got a stem in the center. You remove that stem from the center of the leaf, and then what you do is the leaf you roll it, and that which you have removed, the ridge, the middle one, we use that to actually scrape our tongue also. And then there is something called umkeri, or what you call rice husk, which is burnt black in color. We add salt and pepper into it, and that's also used to clean. So you can use a lot of things. Toothpaste, sometimes a lot of chemicals. The first thing, when your body, you sleep, get up in the morning, anything you put inside your mouth, the body is ready to absorb. And if you put a chemical toothpaste, I don't think it's really good. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sijana. Yeah. Sijana says, thank you for having this on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. Yes, most welcome. Okay, it's not easy, by the way. So let's see how long we can go with this. Okay, which oil or ghee Ayurveda prefers to cook food? Okay, when you say ghee, normally it depends from place to place, but the best ghee according to Ayurveda is always cow's ghee. Okay, but certain areas, yes, if you go to Rajasthan, people actually use camel's ghee. Yes, some places use donkey ghee. They are used to it. Some people use goat's ghee. They're used to it. That's all fine. But when you say ghee, according to Ayurveda, the best ghee is cow's ghee. Okay, and best order of oils to be used in cooking. There are no oil orders here, Shashikar. Okay, me being from Kerala, I would say the coconut oil is the best for me. People from Tamil Nadu say sesame oil is the best. If you go to a place called West Bengal, probably they would say mustard oil is the best. Okay, if you go to some other place, they say ground oil is the best. Groundnut oil, sorry. Okay, so whichever oil you are traditionally used to is the best oil. You don't have to, I would say, in my opinion, oil has to have something which has got a smell and which has got the stickiness. And one oil which doesn't have these properties of oil is sunflower oil, and I don't know how to consider that as an oil at all. Okay, so it depends upon genetically what you are used to. I would say that should be the best oil for you. If I suddenly shift and start taking mustard oil, I don't think that will suit me. Okay, if somebody from Kashmir starts taking, they probably take, I think they take mustard oil more, if I'm not sure. But if they start taking coconut oil because somebody says coconut oil is the best, it will not suit them. So whatever you're genetically used to, that is the best for you. After Vyayama, can we apply oil on head? Yes, you can apply oil on the head, but I would say wait for some time till the sweat actually goes down. Otherwise, don't do that. Okay. What else is there? Let me see. Taken coconut oil and empty stomach, wipe away thyroid issue. I'm not very sure. Okay. It's only one part of it. Thyroid issue is basically it is a metabolic issue. Just by taking coconut oil, it will not help you. You have to be very careful about the kind of food you eat and amount of exercise you also do. Okay, so yes, coconut oil might help you a little bit, but that's not the only thing you need. Any herbs that cannot be consumed without Ayurveda doctor's advice? Nothing like that. I would say one thing you should know, that everything you consume has got a medicinal value. And some people have got this belief that Ayurvedic medicines don't have side effects. It is absolutely wrong. Okay, the difference is that if for a condition you give a medicine, if it is the right medicine, that will not have a side effect. Okay. But unlike, if you look at modern medicine, if for fever, if you give crocin itself, crocin has got a side effect. But here for a disease, if you give a certain medicine, that will not have a side effect. But if you give a wrong medicine, okay, just because the Ayurveda doesn't have side effects, doesn't mean that you can keep on consuming anything. Ayurveda, if not properly prescribed, will definitely have side effects. Okay. How to use homemade 5-year-old ghee. Okay, this is a very interesting topic. Okay, ghee, actually butter is actually very good, since butter is called navanita, that means freshly taken. It cannot be preserved for long. That's the reason why we heat it, clarify it, and make it into ghee. Ghee has got a never-ending shelf life. Okay, any ghee beyond 1 year is called purana ghata. Okay, so any ghee which is okay beyond 10 years is called prapurana. So then you have got something called 100-year-old ghee, also 50-year-old ghee, and a lot of ghees are there. So anything ghee, the older it gets better and better. Okay, but sometimes what happens after 5 years, I'm not very sure if the 5-year-old ghee will be tasty enough for you to add it into food. Sometimes it might not be, but okay, Dhawal, the thing is that this is very good for as to be consumed as medicine. Okay, for if you look at all mental issues, as far as Ayurveda goes, Unmada, Apasmara, all those things, any mental issues, ghee is supposed to be the best medicine. And the older the ghee, the better it works. So sometimes this 5-year-old ghee can be consumed as such if the person is able to take it. It is not bad. It does not have any, that because of that you'll get a stomach. All those things, it might not smell that well or taste that well because it's very old, but it will not lose its potency. The older the ghee, the better it becomes for certain issues. So see how you can use it. The one, it might not be very tasty to add it to food and have. Yeah, Vata person shouldn't exercise. Okay, I did not say probably shouldn't exercise. His exercise should be mild. Okay, a pitta person should do moderate, and a kapha person can do actually more exercise. Okay, so vata exercise, as I said, ardha shaktya nishe vastu, use half your strength. For vata person, his strength is little. Okay, he will not be very strong. So when his strength is little, so when he uses only half his strength, so exercise also will be very mild. Hope you able to understand that. For a pitta person, he will have medium strength, so his half strength will be less. For a kapha person who's got a lot of strength, he can do more exercises. So it is not that exercise should not be done. Exercise should be very much mild for a vata person. Okay, so if you are a vata person, vata pitta person with joint pains, yes, you have to do exercise. You can go for a mild walk, but your exercises should be very specific to actually strengthen the muscles around the joints also. So if it is a knee joint, you can probably climb up and sit on something and move your joints. And if these are your knee joints, lift your legs up and down so that the knees, the joints, the muscles around the knees actually get strengthened. And if and in any joint, if this joint is paining, then you can do exercises to strengthen these joints. So it is not that you should not do exercises being a vata person. It is should go milder than normal. Even see, when you look at summers, yes, in summers they have told, what summers told, vyayamas arkastyaje. That means you have to avoid exercise and getting overexposed to sun. So people, when they summer, they don't do exercise. But in those days, they did not have these kind of transportation and things like that. So wherever they had to go, they had to walk. They had their daily share of walk on a daily basis. So when it was summer, that walk which you have in the summer is more than enough. You don't have to do more. But nowadays, being sedentary, I would say, even if it is summer, you have to do that mild exercise. So Kavita, it is better that you do mild exercises. Okay, don't overdo it. You might not be able to take it. Okay. So thank you very much. Let us wind up the session then. Okay, and I'll see you next week with another topic. Okay. Thank you and good night.